turning towards the Imam of your time and the distress that he is in tonight. Salawat for the love of our Imam Al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Faraj Al-Sharif. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بيب الأحرار سيد الشهداء أبي عبد الله الحسين وجعلنا من المنتظمين بمصابهم مع إمام منصور من آل محمد صلوات. After the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, the narration tells us that the first to describe the attack on the tents was his daughter by the name of Fatima as-Sughra. She narrates, I was standing outside the tents. This must have been just after Zainab al-Kubra was running back and forth between the tents and the killing fields. Zainab was calling out, Wa Husayna, O Umar ibn Sa'ad, is there not a Muslim from amongst your army? Here lies Hussein. His body has been severed from his head. His blood has drenched his body. It is said that she is running back from the tents towards the killing field. She wishes to see her brother Hussein, but she also has the responsibilities to look after the children. Fatima narrates, I was standing outside the tent. This is the first attack upon the tents. She says, I was standing outside the tent when a horseman came riding towards me. When he came riding towards me, I began to run towards the left and run towards the right. She means I was running in any direction to escape the attack upon me. I ran towards the left and I ran towards the right, but this man on the horse began to chase me down. As he came closer towards me, he used the backside of the spear and he struck me on my back. When I fell towards the floor, I fell unconscious. When I woke up in the lap of my auntie Kulthum. I said to my auntie, O Kulthum, my cloth has been snatched from me. My veil has been snatched from me. Do you have a veil that you can give me tonight to cover myself? Listen to the answer of Sayyida Kulthum, the daughter of Fatima, the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Fatima as-Sughra says that when I woke up, I asked, is there a veil that you can return to me because mine has been snatched? Sayyida Kulthum says, oh child, even my veil has been snatched from me. Even I don't have my veil left on me this evening. When they entered in towards the tents, the first call was, kill any male left alive. Kill anyone that you have to be able to end the lineage of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Lying there in a state of semi-consciousness was Imam al-Sajjad. Imam al-Sajjad had been so ill that he had been unable to fight on the afternoon. Previously he had asked, hand me a stick and hand me a sword. They asked, why do you want a stick and why do you want a sword? He says, I want a stick so I can have strength to stand up and lean, and I want a sword to be able to defend the grandson of Rasulullah. At this point, Sajjad is lying. It is said that when they entered in towards the tent, they called out and said, leave no male alive. That it is said that maybe Shimr or maybe Khuli pulled out out a blade in order to be able to kill Imam al-Sajjad. It is said that at this moment, Zainab al-Kubra throws herself in between Sajjad and that blade, and she says, you will have to kill me before you kill Sajjad. This is the first time that Zainab al-Kubra saves Sajjad on that evening. They cry out, kill every male that we can. They began to ransack the tent. They began to steal everything in which they could. A narration says that when the successes of the sermons of Zainab and Sajjad were in Damascus and they were allowed to leave, they were given the opportunity to leave. Before they did so, Zainab said that we have conditions before we leave. Amongst the conditions are that my property is returned back to me, which was snatched, because that property actually was from my mother Fatima. We will not leave until we get our properties back. Even on the night of Shaam Ghariba, the things that belonged to Fatima were stolen from Zainab al-Kubra. Our dhakirin tell us that Khuli comes towards this 4-year-old daughter of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. It says that she is standing there. Khuli comes towards her and has the audacity to slap her across the face. He then snatches the earrings from her ears. Her ears start to bleed. She says, if you had just asked me, I would have given these to you. Do you not know that we are the house of generosity? If you had asked, we would have given you whatever you had needed. It is at this point, after they ransack the tents, that they begin to chase the children. The children run out in towards the darkness of the night. The call comes out, start to burn the tents, leave none there. They come and they begin to set fire to the tents. One narration says that one day that Imam Jaffer Ladak alayhi salam, his house was burnt by the enemies. He was sitting inside Masjid Nabawi. One of his servants come running to him and says, Ya Ibn Rasulillah, your house is being burnt by the caliph, by the governor of the time. Imam al-Sajjad goes back towards the house. He sees his house in smithereens. He sees his house in smoke. The narration says Imam al-Sadiq sits down on the pavement and he begins to cry. He begins to weep. One of his servants sits down next to him and says, Oh al-Sadiq, we have never seen you care for the dunya. Why are you crying that you have lost your house? With tears in the eyes of as-Sadiq, he looks at him and says, I am not crying for my loss. I am remembering what befell my auntie Zainab on the night of Shaam Ghariba, on the 11th night of Muharram, when they came and they set fire towards the tents. The children are running from one tent to another. It is said that their clothes, the fire clothes. Can you imagine the granddaughters of Rasul? As they flee from one tent to another, it is said by our dhakirin that there is an incident which was being observed by one of those who was watching the events. It is said that there was a tent that began to burn, and that he narrates that he saw that there was a lady, a tall lady, coming out of the tent and into the tent, out of this burning tent and back into the tent. When she would run out of the tent, she would look up towards the sky as if making a dua. The dhakirin say that when she returned back into the tent, she was staying so long in the tent that the narrator says, I thought that this lady would be burnt alive inside the tents. I saw her coming out and she had a man on her back. She was dragging this man out of the tents that was burning. I came towards her and I said, who are you? And who is this man that you are dragging? She says, I am Zainab al-Kubra, and this is as-Sajjad. As-Sajjad is too weak to stand up. I have to bring him out of the tent in order to save him. The dhakirin say that this was the second time Zainab al-Kubra saved Imam al-Sajjad. We are told that in the darkness of the night, that some of the children had fled. that they had fallen onto thorn bushes, that they had gone into the Maidan, and in that Maidan there had been broken spears, there had been broken swords, there had been arrows. When they run into the darkness of the night, running into a battlefield with so many thousands of different swords and different spearheads, it is the task of Sayyida Zainab and Sayyida Kulthum to gather the children. We are told that they were calling out for each other. These two sisters were calling out, "Have you found this child? Have you found this child?" The Dhakirin say that it is when they went to find one child, they found this child having died in the darkness of the night. Eventually they are to be gathered towards together. They are gathering towards each other and sitting down. It is narrated that Imam al-Sajjad finds Zainab al-Kubra reciting her Salat al-Layl in a sitting position. He says to her, "Oh my auntie Zainab, why are you reciting tonight sitting down?" She is narrated to have responded and said, "Innama rukbatai, my knees have gone." Sitting and reciting my Salat al-Layl. We are told that before the captives depart and begin as their journey from one city to another as captives being paraded, we are told that Zainab al-Kubra wants to do one last ziyarah of her brother's body. This is a body which has its head severed and is currently sitting on a spear. She wishes to go into the Maidan and find her brother's body. One of the ulama says, how does Zainab know that this is the body of her brother? Is it not a Maidan with thousands of bodies, broken, severed, killed? How does Zainab al-Kubra know which one is the body of her brother? The alim says that she went towards that body with the most amount of debris around it, because when Hussein was being killed, they called out, "Strike him with everything that you have," that they surrounded him. So she looked for the body with the most different arrows in its body. She looked for the body with the most number of stones around it, the most number of spearheads around it. Zainab al-Kubra comes towards that body. She sees the broken body of her brother again. She begins to clear away the debris. She places her hands underneath that broken body. She slightly lifts it towards the sky. She raises her head and says, "Ilahi, taqabbal minna hadha al-Qurban min Ali Muhammad." Oh Allah, accept this sacrifice that we have given to you in this way. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. ماتم حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين
يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين